Just want to start out, I get a little emotional for these things, so people saying my name, I'm getting a little teared up here, so I gotta take a moment. All right. I was rejected. Rejected from every engineering college I applied to. This made me think. Was it my grades? Was it my SATs? Were they too low? Did I spend too much time in my extracurriculars and not enough time in the classroom? Rejection was tough. I was an aspiring engineer. My dream was to be an engineer. I was raised to think critically, design, build, make things with my bare hands. Yet, every college I applied to thought I was mediocre. My big question was, how could I get noticed and then not lost in the crowd? I realized something then, that for myself to be successful, I needed to think not in the conventional way, but think unconventionally. More importantly, I need to think like an engineer to become an engineer. I'd like to open up to you guys and talk about 5 methods that I created over the years of being in education. For me, I knew the conventional way of getting in was just not going to work. So I created these methods, and hopefully you'll gain something from them. My first method, make a portfolio. In this day and age, technology is at your fingertips. Everything you touch or click on brings you to new information, new technology, new content. Yet every college application still wants a 300-word essay or a simple resume to represent the credibility of a person. For me, I feel that's not acceptable. For me, I believe pictures and extra video and things like that will bolster what a student can show or what he can do, he or she. If you are applying to school, bring extra information with you. Have a 3-ring binder. I know it's old school, but put newspaper clippings, things you did in high school, middle school even. Put those in that binder. Show it to the people that matter, that you can do more than what a piece of paper can say. Also, if you're tech savvy, build a website. This is my website here I built when I was an undergrad. I put pictures, video, extra things that I did, put it up there. So if I had to, with that new age technology, bring a tablet with me and show it to the people that I'm working with so that I have what it takes to do the job right. For me, I had an unconventional method that I used to get into college. This here is a lawnmower racer. My buddies and I built these for fun in our spare time. It's a push mower. Don't worry, it wasn't my dad's. It was a push mower we scrapped, took all the stuff off of it, put some motors, some wheels, a little steering, and a little seat. Could drive a cool 30 miles per hour. Unfortunately, it could not cut grass. But it did something really cool. It got me accepted. I put this picture in front of a few important people at my university. They saw that picture, and I explained to them my passion, my drive, why I wanted to be an engineer. It got me into school, this picture, but it also got me a scholarship, which was really important too. The thing is, I got into school not on my merit. Now what do I do now that I'm there? I had to change something. I needed to be a different person, maybe, to actually be successful. Yet, when I got there, it was difficult. It was a hard thing. School was tough. I hit a wall. My grades suffered. I lost that scholarship. I knew that I wanted to be an engineer. It was my dream. I knew that I had to do something different. I needed help. I couldn't do it alone. This leads to my next topic, build a network. It's an extremely important one to me. That's a little different. So, I had 3 parts of my network. It was build a tutor, get a mentor, and have an exterior network. For me, the tutor was extremely important because I know I still had to pass my classes, pass my tests, do the conventional method. Like my dad used to always say, get my piece of paper. The second piece was find a mentor. I needed to find someone who could guide me technically, expose me to a new world of technology that I wouldn't see if I was just a regular student. I also had to expand my network beyond the confines of my university. I knew that having connections outside of school would help me be successful when I graduated. These 3 guys are one of the most important people in my career. The 2 guys on the outside were my tutors. This guy on the inside, Dr. Paul Lowe, he was my mentor. These guys actually in this picture were in a train station in South Korea. The 3 of them went on an exploratory mission, I guess you could say. They went to Korea to explore these new robots. They called them humanoid robots. When they got back from this trip, they had a seminar where they invited students to come in and see these cool robots, what they were doing in South Korea. I was in that audience. After this talk, I knew that they were doing something really awesome, and I wanted to do exactly what they were doing. I wanted to be in their shoes. Just so happened, I had a picture from my portfolio with me. This is a robot that plays basketball. My buddy and I built this out of our dorm room, actually, our freshman year. And I approached them after this meeting and said, I want to do what you do. Give me a chance. They did give me a chance. I got accepted into the Drexel Autonomous Systems Lab. It's one of the premier robotics labs in the Philadelphia area, but also at Drexel University. They build flying robots, helicopters, UAVs. They also work on the newest cutting-edge humanoid robots. With our partners in South Korea, we're building and creating technology that has never been seen before. With my exterior network, it was tough. It was a tough thing for me to develop. My mentor helped me out a lot for this. When I graduated, not there yet. At Drexel University, you need to have 3 co-ops to graduate. A co-op is like an internship, but they embed you in a company, and you work 6 months at that company learning as much as you can about engineering. Those co-ops are based on GPA. If you have a really killer GPA, you get into the good jobs. For me, didn't really have one. So I had to depend on my mentor to help me out. He got me into co-ops all over the world. These are a few of the places. My first co-op was at a startup company in King of Prussia, where I was working on manufacturing technologies. My second co-op was in Austin, Texas, where I was working on programming for small humanoid robots. My third co-op was working in South Korea, where I lived for 6 months in country, learned about the cutting-edge robots that were being developed, learned how to make them. And by the time I graduated, not graduating, why? Why am I talking about graduating? That's the point. By the time I got out of there, I actually developed and built Drexel's first humanoid robot, Atlas. This leads me to my Third method, promote yourself brand. It's a very simple term. It actually means have business cards on you. I see the business card as a bridge. It connects you to another person. I saw this in South Korea when I was working there. In the Korean culture, it is very important that if you give someone a business card, you give it with two hands, hold it in your hand, read it, recognize what the person does and their accomplishments. Hold it in your hand and keep it with you until you finish that conversation. I saw that there was a cultural connection here, that people represented the business card as something very important to them. So when I got back from Korea, I took it on myself to get business cards made for myself. For me, I was an undergrad research assistant. There was my mini billboard that I could use to represent myself. I kept those business cards on me all the time, kept them in my wallet. I gave them out to as many people as I could. And if I give you a tip on business cards, if you ever receive a business card, make sure you email that person that night. While they're still fresh in your mind, say, "Hi, this is my name, thank you for the meeting. Remember me." You never know when you might have to tap that connection. My fourth, find a niche. My graduating class of 2011, there was 70,000 graduating engineers. I needed to find my place in that group. I needed to find a field that would give me value, so when I graduated, people would want me. For me, I found something called CNC, computer numeric control. This picture is called a manual mill. These things have been around for a very long time, where an operator stands in front of the machine, turns the cranks, reads the dials, and makes objects out of metal. The CNC is a whole new dimension to that. The operator is still present, but there's more a computer that's controlling the movements in the machine. There's also motors attached to those hand cranks to make it very accurate and fast. At the time at the Drexel Autonomous Systems Lab, we received a CNC machine to support graduate research. The problem is when we got this machine, no one wanted to take care of it and no one wanted to use it. Well, they wanted to use it, but they didn't want to really use it. So as an undergrad, I had to get in there and operate it, figure it out, do everything I could to get this thing up to speed. Over the course of 5 years, I developed that machine into a workhorse. It's a machining center. I have a lot of fun with this machine. And I think one of the most important things is when I was building my network, I had to find tutors and mentors. Myself, I had to become one to future students who came behind me. I had to teach them what I learned, because what I learned wasn't in textbooks. I learned very unique information that I needed to pass on for future generations. This is actually a video of one of my students machining a part on that machine. I did not, indirectly I taught him how to do this, but this is all his code, all his work. You might think, how does this connect to you? This here is a shell. You can see that there is ridges, small contours, things like that inside of the shell. The shell is actually an HTC One. You actually might have this cell phone in your pocket. So you might be actually holding CNC tech. I see that cell phones are neat, but I think I do something cooler than cell phones. So my last and final method is do something cool. So I knew when I found my niche, I was 1 in 700,000. Or 70,000, yeah. So I was one in a crowd. But I knew I had to do something else. I had to be one of one, or one of a kind. For me, I found humanoid robotics. From that presentation I saw, I thought those things were the coolest things ever, and I wanted to continue my passion and build these robots. For me, what I do is build humanoids. And this is actually a leg that I completely built from scratch. I've never met anyone in my life who said, when I tell them that I build humanoids, they didn't want to know any more. So I do something really neat, or do something really cool. So a little bit more on these robots. These robots have arms, legs, just like us. They can stand there. They can even walk, run, move their legs in a way just like we do. They have hands. They can grasp your hand without crushing it. They can shake your hand. But I think one of the really cool things these robots can do is they can play music together. If you wanted to, if you want to see the whole thing, you can find it on YouTube. So I hope you guys learned something from this. My 5 methods: make a portfolio, build a network, promote your self-brand, find a niche, and then do something really cool inside that. For me, I did do something. I graduated. I figured it out. Used these methods, and I was successful. So there's me. I did graduate, but I graduated in 2012, so it did take me 1 extra year to graduate. But I'd like to mention someone. The guy standing behind, or next to me, his name is Dr. Keith Sevchek. He graduated a few years before me with his PhD. But for 3 years, he came to my house every Monday to tutor me in all my classes. I thank him for helping me get through school. But more importantly, this guy is actually one of the guys standing in the 3 guys in the picture, the 2 guys and the guy with the long blonde hair. He hates me that I put this up there, but he was that guy. He recognized my value the day I met him, the day he got me into the lab, all those things. He recognized my value. And after we got out of school, myself and 4 other guys, we started a company together. We knew that we had that engineering know-how, that tech savviness that we could bring to the world. All of them recognized that we wanted to be engineers together and follow our dreams. Thank you.